What's up, everybody?
Yeah.
Welcome back to whatever this is. I guess we're on day 16 now.
Thanks for coming back.
Hopefully the sound is better than it has been. I'm going to keep working on it. It looks like I could use a little bit more compression on my vocals. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll work on it. What's up? This one? Oh, just, you're good. What are you guys doing? Anyways, yeah, so this is the show about nothing, I guess,
Show about nothing.
Everything.
Way better than Seinfeld, though.
Is it?
Yeah, because
Why?
that show was a show about nothing. And we're not uptight dillywhackers.
So what were you saying? There's not that many people with iPhones, you think?
Yeah, no, according to the populace, or I don't know, there's some mathematics out there that say the actual cell phone users.
Like, where did you hear this from?
A reputable source on the news.
The news lies constantly.
Okay.
All news is all lies all the time. So I don't know what that means. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's see. How many people, percentage of people who use iPhones? So you're saying 13%.
Yeah, 13%.
Only 13% use iPhones.
Yeah.
I mean, these searches are wild. If you type in percentage of people, the first thing that pops up is percentage of people with herpes.
1 out of 5.
It says percentage of people with green eyes, percentage of people with blue eyes, percentage of people who can bench 225.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
What are you guys searching? Number one answer. Okay. Percentage of people who use iPhones. Well, you got to think, too, is that out of all phone users?
Yeah.
Okay, this says as of December 2024, iPhones have a 27.93% market share of the global smartphone market.
Okay, that's global.
While Androids have a 71.42%. You think it was in the United States?
Yeah, well, even that number is still
No,
ballparkish.
this says, however, in the United States, iPhones have a slight edge over Androids. That means iPhones are more. Let's find the U.S. So in the U.S., the iPhone is 58%. So
Okay, dang, there we go.
This just goes to show you can't trust anybody, like especially not the news.
Right. So globally, it's 27%, right?
Yeah.
Well, so my basis is just that people that complain about using the cheap ones, like the cheap no-namers, you know? Like,
What do you mean?
like I don't know,
Like was somebody complaining about using a no-name phone?
yeah, because they have to buy it from this. Okay, yeah. So you know, people that buy track phones and buy like the subscription phones that you pay for out of Smith's.
Yeah.
If you're paying for your phone subscription out at your grocery store, like that's wrong. I'm just saying. Cause
Why? They're probably keeping more money. They probably have the same thing. They probably get the same crap that you do, but they're keeping more of their money, you know?
I don't know about that because all I hear about them complaining. Oh, this phone says,
Well,
you know, because it's not like a real name brand. It's like Cloud Phone 5.
We had one of those one time, and it was just like the biggest pile of crap.
Yeah.
But it was technically an Android. It wasn't a track phone, like it was an Android, but it was
Yeah.
like the bottom of the barrel, lowest, cheapest Android, there was. So
Right.
I think we couldn't like afford to get another iPhone at that time. I think Maddie broke her phone.
Right.
So I was like, well, let's go try out this Android. And it was like you would like click on it and it would just do nothing.
Yeah.
You're like tap on the back and nothing happens. You're just like, what the hell?
Yeah, this one person bought one of those and they're like, "Yeah, I lost all my photos." And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Did you have an SD card in there?"
Yeah.
No.
No. No, not backed up. Yeah, I don't know, dude. But I mean, as far as like texting and calling and all that kind of crap, it seems like it's probably an all right deal,
Right.
It's better than nothing, I guess. But
Yeah, well, I
So-
mean, I guess it all comes down to what you use it for. Like, if you're like going to be watching television on it, movies, whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
then go for it. But if you need something like stable, gonna keep your text, gonna keep your work documents, then you better pay for the real deal.
Yeah. Well, but even the real ones, there's nothing's guaranteed. You know, you
Right.
need to back it up.
Yeah.
Because it's like you could lose.
But usually
your
the real deal ones give you a better backup option. You know what I mean? Like you have better backup options to,
Maybe. Yeah, I guess.
you know,
I don't know. I don't know how the track phones are, but if you could stick an SD card in there, that's one thing that sucks about the
Right.
iPhone is there's no SD cards.
yeah,
You
exactly.
have the memory you have, and that's it.
Right.
And then if you want to, like, the other thing that sucks about it is sometimes backing these things up is super difficult.
Oh yeah.
It's not like, I mean, it is for me. Because, like, I grew up in a world where it was copy and paste. You copy and paste everything.
Right.
You know? That's the way that I've always done it. And now the world is like, here's this great, like, GUI thing, you know? Like, here's this, you know.
GUI.
Yeah, well, that stands for graphical.
I understand.
Yeah.
I know what that means.
And I'm like, I don't want you, computer. I don't want you to do this for me. I want to make my own folder.
Right. I want to see where it's going.
Yeah, here's the get off my lawn rant.
Yeah.
I want to make my own folder and put all of my own pictures in and manage it manually.
Yeah, I
But
don't.
the computer just wants to do it for me, and I'm like, okay, but I don't want to save all this other crap.
Yes.
Like I don't want all of my contacts on my computer. I don't need them. I don't care.
Yes.
If I lose people's phone numbers, I'll go get them from them again. All I want to save is just the pictures. If I could tell iTunes or whatever it is now,
Right.
Finder, to just save the pictures, and there's probably a way. I just don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Then that's what I would do. And there is a way that I use. It's called the image capture.
Right.
And it does it, you know, exactly what I need. But, you know, yeah, it's just annoying that you can't just plug it in, copy and paste. Just copy all these pictures to this folder. Now it's
Yeah.
backed up.
Well,
you
and
know?
like my beef with like the cloud is like when I want to try to go delete something, it takes like it wants you to like testify that you really want to delete
Yeah.
it.
I don't use the cloud at all.
Right, and that's the
But-
thing. Like I've like because I didn't know that it was automatically updating all my stuff to the
Yeah.
cloud, and I'm like, no, delete. It's
Yeah.
like you have to spend a whole day watching murder television
Well,
shows, deleting them.
Yeah, I mean, it automatically updates a certain amount, and I just have like Maddie's stuff on there.
Right.
But it's only like 5 gigs. That's all you get for free. You have to
Right.
pay for the rest, and I'm like, I don't even want you to have this stuff in the first place. So I guess I could turn it off.
That's how I feel too.
but
Is like
you should be able to turn it off.
well, I did finally, but like I had an old phone that did it. Like back in the day when it was still
Yeah.
trying to figure itself out, and like I still had to, like to go delete pictures off of it. But I'm exactly with you. I want to tell it where to go, how much to put there, and I want to see the pathway.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be some mysterious thing that's going to pop up later, you know?
Yeah.
Or if the pathway breaks, I'm not going to get to access it, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is with the cloud is that you don't actually have that shit on you.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
know, if I take it off of these phones, my images, and I put it on a hard drive, in 20 years, if Apple doesn't exist and there's no cloud in 20 years or whatever, like I'll still have it here on a hard drive.
Yep.
You know, and I know that there's issues with that too. Like hard drives die.
Right.
And they might die sitting on the shelf. I don't know. But like, you know, I do have some old school hard drives over there with stuff on it that I should back up to SSDs. But the new hard drives I've been buying are all SSDs, like this little thing
Right.
here. And like, look at how much less space that takes.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that thing's 4 terabyte, or it's 2 terabytes.
Well, there's even like
But
ways to
it's
take your
massive.
hard drive off, like plug and play some things that will copy your hard drive for you.
Yeah. Well,
And-
yeah, you can rate it, and then it will mirror.
Right.
You know, and then it's always doing it right. But they have like on these Macs, they do it good and bad at the same time. Like I feel like backing up the iPads and the phones is annoying.
Right.
Like all the apps, it wants to back up all the apps. It wants to back up basically your whole phone, right?
Yeah.
Just wants to do the whole thing, and I'm like, I don't want to use all this space on my computer.
Right,
You know,
for
you
all
only
that.
give me a 500 gig computer. Like the hard drive in this thing's only 500 gigs. Well, the phone is 250 gigs. So like if I fill this phone up, which we've done,
Oh yeah,
and now I back it up, like now, and I have two phones because there's me and my wife's phone. Now I've filled up my computer with the backups, and I know they compress it, so it's not 100% like that. But I have filled up my old laptop. I filled up with backups of these phones, and I'm like, I don't need you to back up all the apps, and like, why can't I just go in and click, okay, only backup pictures?
Right. And I wish that there was a way that you could like delete apps, like get your memory back from that.
Well, I think you can. Apple is better about that sort of thing than Windows.
Yeah.
I don't know how Android is, but what, you're leaving already? Just leaving me to be? You drink a gallon of water a day. You have to pee every 5 minutes. That's one thing about this 75 hard. It's like you're gonna pee a lot. If anybody's listening to this and you do this, 75 hard. Like, okay, this is what time is it? It's 1:40. And I've already drank almost 80 ounces of water. So I'm about 2/3 to my gallon. And it's like you got to pee a lot. Being a truck driver makes it hard, too, because I have to, like, make extra stops at Mavericks and stuff to go pee. But, yeah. So anyways, there's our tech minute for you. Like, whatever. Freaking... You got to deal with all this tech all the time. What they do back in the day, they just had like photo albums. They kept like 2 pictures of you. They took a picture of you when you were a baby and a picture of you when you were like 12, and that was it.
Maybe if you graduated high school, you get a photo.
Yeah, you graduate high school, you get your picture in your freaking yearbook. For some reason, you get 3 years of that. All 3 years of your high school.
Right.
I hope we're not clipping. Hopefully we're not clipping. We're going to have to redo this. Anyways. Hopefully the audio doesn't suck. But sorry, what? You had a picture of what?
Oh, I was going to say, like, yeah, Grandma got a picture of me and Andrea graduating.
Yeah. But nowadays it's like you're going to take a picture. You're going to take 45 pictures of your kid every day,
Yeah.
And then you post like 5 or 10 of them to your Facebook. And then the rest just sit and build up on your phone. Like, Maddie handed me her phone one time. I think she had like 63,000 pictures.
Right.
And it's just like, it was so, like, it caused such a rift on this machine. Yeah. And on, like, because I was using a 750 gig hard drive to work off of. And then every once in a while I would dump it onto that hard drive, right?
Yeah.
Well, the phone is there's so much data on it. This old operating system wouldn't even back up the 63,000 pictures. So I had to get the other hard drive, 750 gig, load the new operating system onto it, take all that crap, and I had to actually buy that hard drive.
Right.
And then take the 63,000 pictures and put it onto that. And it took a long time. And this computer's fast. Like, it's an i9.
Right.
So it's not... it processes all this video with no problem. It took it forever. It's just like, I don't know.
Could you imagine if the photos that you take now were printed? Could you imagine having that photo book just 1 year of the photos you take?
It would just be massive.
That's what I'm saying.
It would be, I don't know. It'd probably be like 2 foot thick. It'd be like 2 feet. The binding would be massive.
Like, I take a grip of pictures too, like, all the time. I used to put them on Insta all the time, but just of the sky. Like,
yeah.
I just imagine, like, how boring that would be. Hey, look at my photo album, God, bro.
Yeah, well, I think it's when you have kids.
Right.
But before I had kids, I didn't take very many pictures. Like, if I went camping, I would take a lot of pictures.
Right.
And then otherwise it would be like, well, I need to take a picture of this part before I go to the parts store to make sure I get the right one. It's like crap like that. Or I need to take a picture of like something at work so I can remember it,
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But, yeah. So how's 75 hard going now? You're on day 2? Or did you mess up
I'm
yesterday?
on day 2. I didn't mess up. I took a picture of myself.
I guess I'm on day 16.
And, yeah, I got no complaints. The people quit trying to give me food finally, so that's great.
Yeah. Just have to tell them. Just be like, look, I can't eat that.
Well, before I used to just not tell them either. I'd just be like, nah.
Yeah.
But now they're like, well, you always say no. And I'm like, well, I'm on a diet. I'm like, oh, okay. Now it's perfectly okay. Like, oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense. You're not just a jerk. Like, no, I just don't want to eat your food.
I mean, dude, there was a lot of work parties back in the day. They would make like half the store sick.
Yeah.
Because they'd all go eat it. And I'm just like, I don't know.
Why?
I don't know why that happens. Why does that happen? You know?
My thoughts is that there's always one person that just goes and tries everything with the same spoon, and he's like the hacking up guy.
There's this video going around on a reel of like this dude. He's talking about tongs and chicken.
Yeah.
Have you seen this one?
No.
Well, he's like, dude, we all must get like a little bit of E. coli or something, because when you go to cook chicken, you might you have raw chicken on a plate,
Right.
and then you throw it in the pan with your tongs, right? And then you probably get rid of the plate, right? Like, because it's got raw chicken on it. So you put it in the dishwasher or whatever, right? And then you're cooking your chicken. And then you flip your chicken with your tongs, and you set your tongs back down on the thing. And
No, you're totally.
you take the same tongs that you used to pick up the raw chicken to cook the end chicken. But it's not like they get hot enough to get the bacteria off of there or whatever, right? So,
Right.
We all do that, I'm sure. And it's not like halfway through you switch to a new pair of tongs, that don't have the shit
don't
on them.
don't have the Simagilla
Dude,
juice.
sometimes I wonder if people are just the fucking government or whoever, all the people are just controlling us with bullshit like this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where they're just like, look, if you don't do this, you're gonna get sick. And so and so over there got sick from cross contamination. So now everybody. Well, think about it like this. Let's what we were talking about the other day. The way that they regulate vendors,
yes,
is based on thieves.
Right.
Let's say 99% of vendors don't steal, but we regulate those vendors off of that 1%.
Right.
Sometimes I wonder if we're all controlled based off of 1% of bullshit that doesn't really fucking happen. It hardly ever happens.
Right.
But when it happens, we completely change our policy and we're like, well, you better just, now you better just wash that plate and not use it,
Right.
You got to worry about cross-contamination or whatever. It's you know what I mean? How much of our time of every day, even washing your hands, is wasted on this bullshit where they're just you go, you were clean enough to eat before you walked in the bathroom. Now that you took a leak, you need to wash your hands before you leave.
Right.
And it's some of us nowadays too, we might not even touch anything. Dudes could go in the bathroom and use the bathroom with maybe just unzipping their pants.
Yes.
That's it. So, what is on your pants?
Yeah. Your pants
obviously women and number twos are different.
Right.
But what is on your pants that's just pulling them down? Because now they have these stupid little fucking foot things that kick out from the door. You can open the door with your foot. You don't even need to touch the door.
Right.
It's
No, I'm exactly that guy. I sometimes people you need to wash your hands. I'm I didn't touch anything.
Yeah.
I unzipped the zipper. That's it.
Well, I think a lot of dudes are like that. Well, I know they are.
Right.
And so it's we're walking around and dudes, so what are dudes doing to not get apparently sick? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
But no, I feel you because there is that. It's that 1%. It's that one event that had to change everything.
Yeah. So how much shit in our lives, and this is a good topic because I've thought about this for a long time. But how much shit in our lives is based off of this concept?
Right.
Where it's not really a problem, but we turn it into a problem, because, it's you could think about gun control.
Yeah.
The left does this with gun control. If some dude takes an AR-15 and goes and does a bunch of stuff that he's not supposed to do, he shoots up people, then they want to ban AR-15s.
Right. Or the extended magazine, whatever. If you use What if he used a special thing, an ACOG site? They want
So,
to ban that.
right. So on the politician side, they're like, well, you guys are going to be easier to control if you don't have AR-15s.
Right.
If we take our M16 army, our army guys with M16s up against you idiots with your AR-15s, then we have a problem. We have a legitimate fucking war, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And like a lot of guys with those guns are training maybe just as much as the army guys
Probably
are.
more.
So you know what I mean? So it's like you have a problem now. You have a government against a people, and there's more people.
Right.
You know? So that's a problem. So if we could get rid of the AR-15s from the people, they'd be easier to control with the army, right? That's what the politician is thinking. But what they tell the leftist is, oh, we need to get rid of these guns because of these shootings. Right? And the leftists believe it. They're like, yeah, if we didn't have the guns, we wouldn't have the shooting, you know? And like that's what they think. And so that's where that works. But then you start to look at the statistics, and like less than 1% of homicides in the United States are done with long rifles.
No, yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah,
it might not be
super,
1%. I haven't looked it up in a long time.
But it
like,
used to be a lot different. You're right.
It's like over however many percent is done with handguns.
Yeah.
So why aren't we banning handguns then? If it was about people, we should be talking about handguns, not long guns, right?
Well, even then, like the more lethal assaults are actually done with screwdrivers than with guns.
Well, yeah, then that compounds the argument.
Yeah.
That makes my argument even more so. Let's see, like how many...
We need to be putting a law on screwdrivers and kill 50. I have an 11 and 1. Yeah, now what? I carry this all day in my pocket, suckers. Locked and loaded.
So in 2023, 511 people were murdered with rifles in the United States.
That's some low numbers.
So we should definitely ban those rifles, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In 2023, the most common weapons used in murders in the United States were hands, fists, and feet. So you're more likely to die by getting the shit kicked out of you than by getting shot.
Yeah, Grandma's going to come pummel you with her.
Okay, here we go. So it's right here. Handguns are the most common type of firearm used in homicides, accounting for 45% of all homicides. So it's like, why do the leftists let themselves, like, why do they let themselves be played like that?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah. Why you getting played, homie?
Shotguns are accounting for about 1.4%.
That's surprising.
And I mean, this is just according to Google. I don't know. Why is that surprising?
Because I have a pistol grip pump at my side all times. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think a shotgun's going to be what you want, you know? Like, even if somebody, like, breaks into your house, shotguns aren't really, like, that's not really what you should be killing people with, you know, or shooting people with. You really want to be doing it with, like, a handgun. Like, because, you know, it's just a lot. And especially if you're, like, a chick. Like, shotguns are not fun to shoot, you know?
Usually not, like, no.
They kind of tear up your shoulder.
Yeah,
or they tear my shoulder up. Like, I don't know. I haven't shot a whole lot of shotguns, but, yeah.
It depends on how you have them set up. But then again, you're back to that 1% because not that many people are going to set their stuff up for that kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know, clay pigeon, waterfowling. In the Northwest, they shoot deer with them a lot.
Yeah.
But, like, they shoot them with a slug shot, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but that's what you're going to be using it for. It's not like I mean, I don't know. Rifles. Yeah, even rifles. It's like most of the time, I wouldn't want to have a rifle. Like, if I was in the mall and a shooter came in, I wouldn't want to have a rifle.
No.
Like, I would rather have a 9mm.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, handgun. It's like, it's a whole lot to handle. And it's a whole, like, you're not going to be able to necessarily aim all that well.
Right, yep.
Like, at close range, I might not have very good aim with that versus a handgun. Like,
right. Well, that's why, like, whenever I'm watching cops on television, whoever I'm with, like, we talk about long guns. We're like, why are they busting out the long guns? Like, why are you pulling out a long gun against that dude, he's 15 feet away from
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if he,
I think it's probably at that point it's more like intimidation.
right, but if he halves that,
Yeah.
if he halves that distance and takes that weapon away from you, now you're toast.
It might also be like how far away they want to run,
Right.
But it's like you're probably not even going to want to use the thing. It's like if you just have it and you go up on somebody and just having it, they're going to be like a lot more intimidated. Maybe,
Right.
They might be like, well, I can't mess with this guy because he's got a rifle.
I definitely wouldn't. I'd be like, sucker, bad choice.
Yeah. But it's like, they're still messing with the other guy with the pistol on his hip.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, both those things will kill you. That's another thing, too, is that all guns technically could be assault rifles, right?
Right.
I mean, it's not like assault guns, I guess, because a handgun isn't a rifle. But it's so crazy how just the language, it just like affects these people. And it's even like what we were talking about with the 1%. It's like I don't know how we do this, but there's got to be a better way.
Right.
Make the 99% pay for the 1%.
For the 1%, yeah. Well, especially for like with handguns, like just example, they want to always ban the extended mags, and for the ARs too.
Yeah.
But with your pistols, like they don't even want to talk about it. Like, because does it change the weapon into an assault handgun then?
Yeah. Well, no, they do. I've heard them talking about trying to get it down to like under 10 bullets.
They do, yeah. Especially California, they don't want you rocking anything more.
But it's like what you guys should do is fix your problem with more guns, not less guns. If you hand guns out, if you give guns to the good people, if you make it easy for the good ones to get guns,
right,
the problem will take care of itself one way or another.
Not even just that they have them, but they have legislation to protect them from using them.
Right.
Because anytime you do something good with a weapon or an item for self-defense, however you want to justify it, anytime you bust out something to defend yourself, you're automatically going to have to talk to a cop.
Yeah, well,
which is the wrong answer.
You might have to go to jail.
Yeah, you will be going to jail.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. I don't know, though. I know a guy who's told this story about how he used his weapon, and he actually shot a guy.
Right.
And but basically, and it's weird too because he didn't go to jail. But
lucky dude.
Yeah, but the cops knew him.
Right.
And so. But basically, these guys were trying to break down his door,
right,
and get into his house. They were breaking in. Now he thought he was firing a warning shot,
right,
off to the side, but he missed. He kind of managed where he was versus where they were. Right. Probably heat of the moment, and he shot one of them in the leg. And but the other thing too is he had full surveillance of this whole thing, and he was. I don't know what he would want to be called because he doesn't consider himself a First Amendment auditor, but that's basically what he is. He's a cop watcher.
Oh, yeah.
He goes around and watches cops, and so that's how they knew who he was.
Right.
But they came over, and to their credit, they were like, we won't go in your house if you don't want us to.
Right.
And he's like, because that's where he shot from. He shot from in his house to the outside, and they were like on his porch or whatever, and he shot one of them in the leg. But I guess they were able to tell that they were trying to rob the place. I don't know. So, but I mean, you hear about people, and I think the other thing is that dude didn't die, you know, but you do hear about it, and you never know if they're going to show up and agree with you that it was a self-defense situation and not try to take you to jail anyways.
I know a guy that recently got put into jail because of a policy about the place. The cops deemed that he was the aggressor because the place had a policy against weapons, and the other dude started the attack. You know what I mean? And so it that kind of is jacked. I feel like there's the 1% of people that are trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
That should be acceptable. You should be able to say, "Look, I was doing the right thing," and they should have a clear clearancy to see that that's the right thing versus the wrong thing.
Yeah, there's the Daniel Penny case. Have you heard about that? Like, I haven't fully looked into it yet, but he was this Marine. And basically, he was on a subway, I think, in New York.
Yeah.
And this dude was, like, threatening people.
Right.
And so, not Daniel Penny, this other guy.
Right, the bad guy.
Yeah, so Daniel Penny restrained him.
Yeah.
And he ended up dying. The dude did. And Daniel Penny's in jail for murder for that.
Right.
And it's like, it's kind of jacked up when you think about it, because I don't know, it doesn't sound like, I mean, I don't know if it's still, it looks like it was May 1st, 2023. So he restrained Jordan Neely, a 30-year-old homeless man, on a New York subway. So that's what this says. But from what I've been hearing, it's that basically he was, let's see, people were tired of riding. Let me find the app. This is from Vital City, New York, NYC.org. People were tired of riding the subways in fear, and they felt vindicated by someone who had decided to do something about it himself. This week, Daniel Penny was cleared of all charges in choking. Oh, it looks like he was cleared. See, I'm listening to these old podcasts, so.
But he still went to jail for a minute.
Yeah, he went to jail for like a year and a half.
Yeah. Like your whole life is gone.
Before he was let out.
Right.
You know, that's a lot. And it's like people aren't going to necessarily read this that he was let go.
Right. Well,
you know, and so just for doing the right thing. If you're on the subway and some homeless dude is like is threatening people.
Right.
And then you restrain him and he happens to die while he's restrained. That's what happened, it sounds like. That's what I heard, allegedly, I think. I mean, I don't know. I just barely heard about this, but that's what it sounds like to me happened. He was just like, look, dude, like, homeless guy, you can't threaten people.
Right.
I'm going to make sure nobody gets hurt here because I'm a Marine. Like, isn't that what you want?
Yeah.
Isn't that type of behavior what you want in this world? Like, or do you want now that guy to go to jail for a year and a half?
Yeah, and everyone else to not want to do the right thing because they're afraid.
Yeah, so then I saw another video the other day of this dude just freaking the fuck out on an airplane, and he was like kicking the shit out of his seat. Like, you know how the seats are up like this or whatever, right? He had the thing totally folded backwards down. He was kicking the shit out of it, just like swearing, and like nobody's fucking with him. Everybody's just ignoring it. You can see other people's heads, and they're just like, they're kind of looking at him, but they're just like,
not looking
like,
over there.
I'm not going over there.
Nope. No.
I'm not going to go mess with it, you know? I mean, obviously, when they landed, I'm sure that guy got jacked up, you know, by the airport cops. But, you know, it's like, because you're on a plane. But it's like, where's the dudes at? Where's the dudes that are like, dude, you can't destroy this plane's property.
Right.
You know, you can't do this. I feel like if that sort of thing happened in like the 50s or something like that,
he would have been hogtied.
Yeah, he would have like got his ass kicked on the plane.
Yeah. He would have been. Yeah, the more men would have stood up and like held him. Like, no, that's not how you act. We don't act like that. And I get like society has their norm or whatever, but if we went to another country, like in Bulgaria, when I was in Bulgaria, they police up their own over there. Like, this bum stole a piece of pizza from me. Like, I bought a big old pizza for everyone I was eating with. And a bum just walked up and took it, and it was, like, burning his mouth because it was so hot. And these little tiny girls that were, like, at this Catholic church taking wedding pictures started picking up rocks and hucking it at this bum. And then this old-ass dude with the cane came over and whopped him upside the head. And then they all said, oh, we're sorry that this bum made your day bad. And I was like, right on, people, right on, thank you, you know?
Yeah.
They policed it up.
Well, it seems like the world used to be like that, but now you're supposed to just deal with crazy.
Yeah,
you know, you go out in the world and it's like everybody's crazy and you're just supposed to deal with it. You're not, like, there's no standard for how to behave in public. Like, I go around telling people, like, and granted, they're the customers of what I'm doing, you know?
Right.
But there's people that I'll be like, how's your day going? And they don't say nothing. Like, this is how they are. They don't talk.
Right.
And I'm like, all right. And when I leave, I'm like, have a good day. It's just like normal, they don't say anything.
Yeah.
They just mean mug me the whole time. I'm like, yeah, because I'm a thief.
Right, I'm the bad guy.
Listen to your corporate overlords some more. Like, because they know.
Right.
Because they know what they're doing. Like, look at them, and look at you controlled by that crap.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've never stole from you. I've never stole. I'm not thieving from this place.
Yeah.
You have no reason to treat me like that. But you do because you're corporate overlords. And, like, it's worse for them, too, because I think they do have policy on, like, fraternization.
Oh, yeah.
But all the other receivers at that place don't do that. It's just those one guys.
Right.
Certain people, I should say.
Yeah, I even feel about that. Like our corporate overlords, they have too many policies that they can't even uphold themselves.
Yeah, and it's all the policies are those 1% policies.
All the 1%.
It's like this happened over here, and so now we're gonna make the 99% suffer. The good ones suffer because of the bad.
You can't buy. Like I kind of thought about this the other day too. Like about markdowns. People. You're not supposed to buy markdowns and hold on to them. If you buy a markdown, you have to take it out to your damn car.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But like, I'm marking down like a shit ton of ice cream. Like, yeah, make sure you go run it out to your car right now, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
Hold that in the back room.
Yeah, you're gonna have a melted car seat.
Yeah. You just don't. People just don't. Well, I mean, I get their points.
Right.
Because it is like people will hold stuff in the back room forever. And it's like, okay, well, then why don't you just, like, make the policy one day? You can't hold it in the back room past a day.
Yeah.
Or like, take care of your employees.
We get paid on Wednesday, man.
How about you just, like, have some humanity and realize that you don't really pay your employees all that much.
Right.
And maybe they need that markdown.
Right.
Because,
exactly.
because you don't pay them that much. And you don't. And, like, it's like, what the situation is.
Oh, yeah. Well, I only mark down toilet paper on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
I get a big old stack of it built up throughout the week, and on Tuesdays I mark it down. It's gone in minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, yeah, because you could just buy it all and it would last forever. It's not like it goes bad. But it's like, why not? I'm listening to this Andy Frisella, right? Because that's what we're doing. We're doing his program. I'm listening to his podcast. And he owns businesses. Mm-hmm. It's not like he's not bringing all this crap out. He's saying all this stuff because he did it.
Yeah, because he's walking the line.
This is what he does. He's doing 75 hard right now too. He still does it. Everybody, like a lot of people, do it every year. I'm going to do it every year. I'm not going to stop this year. I'm going to do it next year too. But anyways, he talks about the people that work for him. Like a big part of his business is he sells workout vitamins.
Right.
Like he owns vitamin stores, basically. Well, they make their own vitamins. Like, I don't know what it's like, creatine or something like that. Like all that type of stuff.
All the above.
Well, they just give it to their employees.
Right.
It's like when they go in and they have a gym at their place of business, you can go in there and work out while you're working or whatever it sounds like.
Yeah.
Well, there's just free product in there. You know what I mean? And I bet you, like, if Smith's or, like, I know that where I work does this, they'll just, like, give us stuff sometimes,
Right.
Or, like if we go to a meeting, they might have some pizzas there. You know what I mean? Or whatever. So it's like, why? I think more companies need to do stuff like that, where it's like you could get this product, and, like, take care of your employees. But and that's how it seems like it used to be. But nowadays, it's like everything is so tight.
Yeah.
They're just all about money. They're like, hey, you who's helping us make this money, you're an employee of my business. Like, I should be a teammate with you. When I had a business, all my friends and family got whatever I had.
For free.
It was just free. It was like, if I have a working machine that you need, like, it's yours. Yep. Like, no questions asked. Here you go. Like, if I could fix your machine, it's maybe
it's
you
free.
buy the part.
Yeah, exactly.
You buy the part and I'll just do it, right? Because I'm not going to charge my friends and family, but it's like, why don't these businesses do that sort of thing? It's like, why don't you because you're going to, you got to realize at some point that there's more to life than money. And these corporations are past that point. It's literally all about the money. It's all about the thing. It's all about the game. It's all about winning. It's all about beating the other guy.
Well, if people are bought into, especially your corporation, they'll do more for you. Like, if Kroger did give,
Yeah, but they don't have to.
Well,
Because look at what you guys do. You guys still go in there every day.
Right.
Like every single person who works for that company just goes in there and they accept the underpayment.
Yeah.
You accept the fact that you're supposed to work harder than everybody else
Right.
and get paid less than everybody else. And you just do it every day. It's like it's so strange to me. Now that I'm out of it,
Yeah.
I'm like, why do you guys do this? I'm like, you guys could go. That's what I tell Maddie all the time too. I'm like, you could go do something else. You could, grab onto something better, because it really sucks there. It's not good. Just there specifically, but I'm sure it's the same at like McDonald's or,
I mean, some places are better than others. Some places actually do better. Like Lowe's ain't too bad to their people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have a lot of homies that work at Lowe's, and they ain't too bad. If they pass their certificates, they get more dollars. Cool.
Yeah.
If we pass certificates at my job, like, great. You're just held more accountable.
Yeah. At your job, if you do a lot of work, then you get rewarded with more work.
Yeah.
With somebody else's job.
Someone else's, responsibility.
And most of the time, you're rewarded with somebody else's responsibility because they don't pay enough, and half the time, there's only half the crew.
Yeah, people
like the freight crew quits every other week at every store. Like I swear, everybody I talk to, they're like, "Oh, half my freight crew."
They put all the baggers as freight crew at my store. All the baggers, the like the 30-year-old baggers.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So real special crew.
I'm just like, I don't know. It's strange. That place is strange for sure. And I mean, the place I work at is better.
Right.
But they still have their moments.
Their moments.
Where I'm just like, come on, guys. Like, how can we all win together?
Exactly.
And that's what they're doing. That's what the Andy Frisell is doing, or trying to do, is he's trying to get all of his people to win, with him. And I know it's still hard. Like, you still got to have your budgets, and you can only pay people whatever you can pay them.
Exactly.
But it's at the grocery stores, when the groceries are up 300% or 200%, which is what we've seen, they're up 300% from like 4 years ago. How come grocery employees don't get paid 300 or 400% more? It's simple math. How come they don't get paid 50% more?
Right.
Where's the money going? Is the supply that much more? You get down to the farmers. Are the farmers charging 300% more?
Man, my pig. You don't understand.
or is it record profits?
All record profits, especially like with which is kind of bad too, especially since people are going to want to cut corners. As soon as you start cutting monies and the higher ups are getting everything, the people below have to cut corners to get it done.
Well, yeah, that's why that's why everybody needs to quit.
Right.
Everybody just needs to not work there. I mean, I could go on and on and on about what's wrong with the grocery industry.
I'm only staying there until I get fired. That's my rule. Like, that's personal.
But what about
myself.
you haven't thought about what you want to do?
Oh, I have plans.
Well, why don't you execute?
I'm working on them.
Use the 75 hard
I'm finding
to build
the balance.
your brain. There is no balance. What balance with what?
Well, like with my next career, I want to make sure I get the things I want that Smith took away from me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that could be today, couldn't it?
It
tomorrow,
could. Well, yeah, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Because I have difference than other people. I have a legal background.
Yeah.
That I chose.
Well.
My actions.
Yeah.
It inhibits my future.
Well, you got to figure that out.
I'm working on it.
There's got to be a way. You can start.
I'm doing steps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's time to start a business. Nobody can stop you from doing that. There is no barrier to entry. Legal background doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm an outlaw. Like, I am an outlaw.
That's another thing. That whole thing is like, if you it's just, people who break the law, maybe they shouldn't work or exist. But if we don't give them a place to work,
yeah.
And the ones that want to work and make more money, then what are they going to do? They're going to go break the law again. You know what I mean? And they're just going to continue that path. And it's like, well, there's got to be somewhere. I
Right.
guess the construction industry's for that, really. And maybe there'll be a whole bunch of new jobs opening up soon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm backing
I
up.
saw this dude. I saw this dude on a reel or something making a reel, and he's like, Donald Trump, you're just gonna have to come get me, and if you do, then who's gonna pour all this concrete or whatever? And then it's like 5 minutes later, and there's 3 ICE agents there, like on the job site, and the dude is not like happy looking.
Right. I
Like
saw
that.
I saw an ice wagon today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where at?
Rolling up to the Valley Fair Mall.
Yeah.
Like for real. I was like, no way.
Yeah, there's a lot around here, I'm sure.
I was gonna stick
People
around
are-
and film it, but
Our town's Facebook group is shutting down because of it, because people can't stop fighting about it.
Oh, really?
They're taking a break. That's what they said on it today. They said they're taking a break so everybody can reflect or whatever on how they're going to treat each other or something like that. Yeah, because like every other post on there is about it. And like every other person is just like, send them back. And then the other people are like, that's cold or whatever. I don't know. I don't know why they have an issue with it. Like, if you break the law, then you got to go deal with the consequences. If we don't like the law, then we need to change the law.
Yes.
But obviously, a lot more people in this country are down with that law than not.
Right.
You know?
Sorry, if you do live in a democracy, the people speak.
Well, we don't live in a democracy.
Right.
though.
Well, you know what I mean.
But
More
yeah.
people vote. There it goes.
Yeah, it's like, obviously, this is needed. And it's like, and what blows my mind is that in this city, there was this girl who lived here. I'll say that. I'm not going to pull up the story.
Right.
And I don't know how much of this is true either, but somebody got murdered. And the person that murdered them was illegal.
Right.
That's the story I got, allegedly. Like, I saw it on the news.
Right.
And I'm not going to pull up all the details. Just, this is actually happening. It's happening here.
It has happened more than I personally have known the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Homie got deported to Mexico, came back and killed his wife.
Yeah, so it's like, why does that happen?
Like how?
Like, why? Like, what?
I mean,
and like, why are we okay with it? It's kind of like the gun thing I was talking about earlier. You start looking at the facts, and you're like, okay, well, we've got to deal with this.
Right.
Why is the government so down with outlawing the only weapon that I know of that's pretty close to what they use in war?
Right.
Why is that? Because they don't want you to be an army against them. You got to think about this. Like, we all need to think a little bit more about what we're doing here and why they're doing what they're doing, why they're getting you to believe certain things, like the abortion issue. I don't get either. I don't get why anybody would vote based off of that issue. I mean, like, because it's like, how many abortions do you plan on having in your life?
Oh, yeah.
And like they put it back to the states, so the states get to decide whether they can have abortions or not or whatever, right?
Right.
But like, you're gonna vote on a presidential candidate for the next 4 years that's gonna steal your money by taxes, give it to Ukraine, and then Ukraine's gonna give them some back, allegedly. Right?
Yeah.
This is what is happening. And you're throwing all that money away based on an abortion bill that you might not even use anyways, or want to use.
Yeah.
Or them banning quote unquote assault rifles that you don't have or own, and they only kill 500 people a year in homicides.
Right.
It's like, well, there's 330 million Americans, or however many there is now. 500. Those are the numbers that you guys are voting on and basing these policies on. You know what I mean? And as far as the abortion thing, if it has to happen, like, get a credit card and fly to wherever. California probably still does them. You know what I mean? It's like, what? Why? I don't get it. I don't get people's thought processes at all. It's like, yeah, I found out today. I don't know if this is true either, but apparently like insulin is going to be a lot more expensive now. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, and this does come back and forth. This comes back and forth a lot.
What, that it goes up and down?
Different pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, but it's like.
But it shouldn't be, because it's like
the only thing that I saw a cap on that Trump took away the cap was on Medicaid.
Right.
So if you're not on Medicaid, why would it affect your price? I don't get it.
Well, it shouldn't affect your price anyways, and I always think it's I think the whole drug industry is kind of crooked anyways. Like how much, cuz I had to pay $300 for an inhaler every month. Like, and that's with the best insurance I can afford.
Yeah, so
and without that insurance, that inhaler cost me $500 a month.
And isn't it weird too, like for what it is, like
that's exactly,
because it's like just this little thing, right? It's like this big,
yeah,
and that's $300. Like, how does it get to be that expensive?
Right. Oh yeah.
I mean, other than all the red tape that they have to deal with.
I mean, that's just one of them.
But like the actual cost of the thing,
right,
of the stuff, does it actually cost $300?
Hell
to make?
No, it don't cost $300 to make.
What does it actually cost to make? What could these drug companies could they half that?
Right.
Could they quarter that?
And
I don't know. I don't know any. These are legitimate questions. I have no idea, but.
Well, they definitely can, and everyone always says it's R&O, research and development, right? No, wrong. I'm sorry, you guys. They don't even research like how they used to. They don't. You don't get a group of 500 people, 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Like everyone's coattailing older research.
They certainly didn't with that vaccine, but like, here's my thing though: is like, shouldn't that have already been done?
Yeah.
Like they front load that and they have to pay for it forever, or do they just keep the price high forever?
And
eventually it would have been paid off, you would think.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they do. Yeah.
But what about generics? Like, is there a way to get cheaper generics?
Right.
Like, I don't know. I don't know any of this stuff because I don't have to deal with these issues.
Well, some of the cheaper generics get bought out by the bigger companies, and then they just, nope, sorry.
But here's the issue that I see. Is if the government is controlling the price of something, even if it is life-saving medications, at some point you have to ask yourself, is that communism or not? Shouldn't we allow a free market to decide? And is it because these people have a monopoly on it?
And that's
monopolies are supposed to be illegal.
Yes.
So if a company has a monopoly, they can charge whatever they want. And if people need it, then they're going to pay it. But maybe what should be done is there shouldn't be a monopoly. They should force a company. If the drug company's too big, they should force it into two and then make it compete with each other. And then that would bring the price down.
Right. Or even just make it after, okay, you've had your front load. Now it's public domain. Now this person can make it. Because there's lots of...
Have you ever experimented at all with any natural?
Oh yeah,
remedies?
I did that for a year.
And it didn't work. None of them worked.
No, no. I even had to do a whole week without taking any medicine at all, and went to a doctor, and I wore a machine too.
Well, I just mean is there? We have the internet now.
Oh yeah, well yeah. So I don't like medicine. I don't like to take it if I don't need it.
Yeah, but you need it. So what my point is there's allegedly they're curing diabetes in Germany
and in Cuba.
Like if they get these people to fast or I don't know all the ins and outs.
Right.
Okay. So, but basically in the United States, that's a big problem for insulin manufacturers,
right?
Because they kind of don't want the system doesn't really talk about that.
Oh yeah,
well, you're not going to see that on the news.
Yeah,
you know what I mean necessarily, and it's of course the FDA is probably going to be well, that's not safe for whatever reason because we might or might not be in the drug company's pocket, and so we need to make our money. So you guys can't cure your diabetes. And by the way, here, eat all this junk food.
Eat all this junk food that has corn sugar in it, which is super bad.
Yeah. So, and like not diabetes 1, like this would be diabetes 2, right?
Right.
So, so my point is that there are other things. Like there's also like, the other thing I heard the other day, it might be like, I can't remember what the drug was, but they were saying it was like curing cancer. It was vitamin C.
Right.
Like intravenous vitamin C is getting rid of cancer. It's like what I'm saying to you is like, is there something out there that could help you that's not $300 a month?
Right.
That you could be doing, do you think?
But sometimes
other
people,
than like diet and exercise,
right,
I'm sure that would help you a lot.
Exactly. But I also breathed in a bunch of bomb dust, which made me have lung disease.
Yeah, but you have, so what my point is that you have the disease. I'm not saying you don't have it.
Right.
What my point is, like I know you have it. My point is that what you're dealing with is these people have this monopoly on your drug that you need.
Right.
Okay, and they charge you $300 a month for it.
Yeah.
What they have done is they've gone out into the world and they've found some natural cure, and then they have systemized it into where the only place you can get it is from them.
Right.
So, is there another cure that you could find, or another treatment that you could find? Like, if you inhale certain other things every day, that would fix it or help it.
Well, yeah, but unfortunately, some of the precursor for this, if it was unregulated by the FDA, then I could mix up my own inhaler at home, cheaper. But because that precursor is also used for methamphetamine, now the government says, no, you can't buy this. No, you can't do this.
I'm saying like not even like whatever they're doing,
right?
But like if you, and that, that's another issue I think that we have is like that you couldn't make your own medicine. Like, how does that make any sense?
You got to know chemistry.
I understand you couldn't make it and sell it. Like, that would be a problem, probably.
But if you want to do it yourself, why not? They used to do it. People used to make, cough medicine and stuff like that for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, well, even like cough medicine, if you like take honey, or whatever they say, it's
right.
Like, there's going to be things that are going to help you with your cough.
Right.
That are more natural remedies. There's just nothing you could do. Well, like when my ankle swelled up and I thought I had gout, I was like looking up stuff, and trying all these things.
Oh yeah.
None of it worked because I didn't have gout. But
all right. I mean, yeah, no, I feel you, and I honestly used to make this argument too that these pharmacy companies should also R&O a natural way to do it too. Like because they have these big, huge monies for research, right? But they should also research how to give information to the people too. Because they used to do that. Doctors used to say, oh, here's for the aspirin. It's also from this willow bark tree. So in case if you don't got 5 cents to buy it, this is how you make aspirin at your house.
But they're not going to do that
because then now they're missing out on that 5 cents for the aspirins. 75 plus. Sometimes you got to leave the room for a minute. It gets tough. Hopefully everyone out there is having a great time. Thanks for tuning in. If you would like to comment below, let us know about a topic you want us to research, a topic you want to discuss. I don't know what to do with my hands. I feel like Will Ferrell. Like, I feel like that part of his movie was probably like the most factual statement he was ever made about like not wanting to do with their hands. Because usually that's why I try to hold the guitar, because I kind of feel like I don't know what I'm doing. My suspenders chapping my nipples. Comment if you've had that issue. I did talk. I talked. I just barely took a breath. I did.
There'd be a big old gap of dead air.
There wasn't. I kept it going. What? You'll reverse it and you'll see. I've mentioned that how like Will Ferrell was probably like right when he said you don't know what to do with your hands, because sometimes when you leave, I'm like,
Yeah, I'm not gonna edit this. You should be comfortable by now. We've done so
I'm
many
pretty
of these
comfortable,
things.
but sometimes I still get nervous. Crap.
So this is saying that ginger might help.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you try that one?
I've tried it lots of different ways.
I don't know what else is here, but like I imagine if you got a little more fit, that would help, wouldn't it?
I mean that comes and that's also like a double-edged sword, because I need to breathe to get fit.
Yeah, but like like you would have to do the work
Right.
at first, and then eventually it would get to the point to where your lungs would have less shit to do.
Right.
Maybe, you know.
Well, the other thing, yeah, it's complicated, but you are, and I do agree with you, and I have tried different homeopathic routes, all kinds of stuff like rub-ons and naturals,
Yeah.
but sometimes there's misleading information about those too, like doTERRA. Some doTERRA oil you should not put on your skin. It jacks you up,
This says quitting smoking.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, I quit smoking. And actually, you know what the most jacked up thing about smoking cigarettes is all those carcinogens in there actually kind of help your lungs relief, because it's a steroid,
I didn't say cigarettes.
I know. That's from the earth.
So is cigarettes.
No, those are not.
Tobacco comes from the earth.
Oh, if it was like a legitimate just straight tobacco into the cigaretto, bomb. But that is not how it happens.
Well, that's true, but tobacco still isn't good for you either.
Right. Even like the way that, I don't know. It is not good for you.
Yeah.
But if you lived a harmonious life in equilibrium, it couldn't be bad. You know what I mean? If you didn't overuse it, or once a year you went to a smoke session or something like that.
Yeah.
Like Native American style,
right. Well, I think anything could be like that.
Right.
Your body can recover from anything if you did it once a year. Like if you ate a Big Mac once a year, all these fucking 400, 500-pound people, if they didn't eat 10 Big Macs a day, they wouldn't be so fucking fat. That's just the way it is. If they ate one Big Mac a year, it wouldn't be a big deal. I bet you like the skinniest dude out there will eat one. He might eat one Big Mac a year or one hamburger a year.
I mean, yeah. I don't know.
That's how it works, isn't it?
I don't know. I know lots of folks out there that are pretty skinny, eat a lot of really bad food.
Yeah, well,
I think that really bad food make you even skinnier too.
No, some people just have a higher metabolism, so they just use it, and like you don't know what else they're doing though.
Yeah.
Like you could get away with it if you work it off. Like a lot of it is how much you take in, how much you put out.
Right.
And then there's other issues like how you use the shit. Like how your body, whether it uses it or stores it. And like when you get yourself into, like there's this book called Why We Get Sick.
Yeah.
And like I listened to it on the audiobook. I started reading it the other day again to actually read it. But it talks a lot about that stuff.
Right.
And like why we store it and why we would use it.
Yep.
It seems like, according to that, the bigger issue is sugar.
Yeah. Well, again, going back to the kind of sugar it is too, because real sugar, I mean, they are different sugars. We get down to the polypeptides in them, how they're built on their carbons, right? The more complex it is, the more your body has to do to it, right?
I guess. I don't know. I don't understand that stuff at all.
Oh, well, I do. One day you will too.
Well, what this book was talking about is insulin resistance.
Right.
And basically, it says a lot more than this. But the thing I got from it was most of us are insulin resistant.
Right.
Most of us are probably pre-diabetic. because we intake so much sugar.
Right.
And that's why we're so fat. And basically, there's something called glucagon.
Yes.
And it tells your body to use energy from fat cells.
Yes.
But since we're insulin resistant, what the insulin does for us is tells our body to store fat.
Right. Yep.
So our cells, instead of using the sugar, they store it as fat.
Yep. And like I was saying, like if you eat sugars from an apple or sugars from a strawberry, like you grew it in your yard, okay?
Yeah.
That's way different sugars than the same amount of sugar that you get refined sugar or cornstarch sugar. Your body's going to work with them two different ways, because putting it in you, eating it, masticating it, it starts digesting right in your mouth. Those other complex sugars that are synthetic don't break down in your mouth. They break down in other parts of your body, like the sugars that you get from like natural fruits and stuff you eat naturally break down in your mouth, starting in your mouth.
Well, it's also like glucagon and insulin are kind of opposites.
Right.
And if you have a lot of insulin in your system, you won't have glucagon.
Right.
And then vice versa. They parallel, like they don't parallel each other. I don't know what the right word would be, and so that's why intermittent fasting works.
Yes.
Or that's how it works. Because if you have to basically use up the insulin, and as you're using it and not creating more, then your glucagon comes in and it starts eating the fat. So the issue we have is since we are constantly eating, the insulin levels never go down.
Yeah, because you're always putting that sugar in too.
Yeah, we put
those
in
complex
sugar,
carbohydrates.
And then I think, is it the pancreas that makes insulin?
Yeah,
it makes insulin, and then our cells are like, all right, well, we're used to this insulin, so we're just going to take this sugar and make it fat.
Yep.
Instead of taking that sugar and using it for energy, we're going to take it and make it fat, and take it and make it fat. So now you have a bunch of fat cells. And then you're constantly eating, so the glucagon never comes in and says, all right, guys, now we need that fat. Let's take that fat and turn it into energy. It never does it.
I like a good fast, even though I'm still a large man.
Well, you need to do it every day.
Right.
So like what I do and what they recommend in that book is to do at least 12 hours.
Yep, at least 12 hours.
So I eat at night, whatever I eat. And then I don't eat again. I mean, I'm on about a 13 or a 14-hour fast right now. What I've been doing since we started this 75 hard.
Right.
And so basically, I eat before 9 o'clock at night, but usually it's around 6 or 7.
Right.
And then I don't eat again until 10 o'clock the next day.
Yep.
Somewhere around 9 or 10 o'clock the next day. That's my normal. It does vary. There's certain days where my schedule gets messed up because of what I do, but I still usually eat later. On those days, it might be like a 15-hour fast,
right?
Or longer. Like I don't even know what it is. It's just like I get to a point to where I'm like, it's 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, and then I start eating. But I might have ate at 5 o'clock the day before or whatever.
Another interesting thing about intermittent fasting is because some of the things that I've read about it are making sure your stomach has a time, your digestive time has a time to relax too. So if you switch your fast and you eat only in the morning and then you work all day, that way your stomach works at night, it gets to rest too. So if you eat at 10 a.m. and do a 14-hour fast, your stomach gets to sleep too during the night because it doesn't have to work while you're sleeping, Because our digestive systems keep working while we're sleeping.
Yeah.
And so sometimes giving that a break helps with the mucus lining of your intestines. Also helps clear out any of the free radicals that are just chilling in there, like bits of food that are just too heavy to move, you know what I mean, or didn't get moved out with enough water. And kind of like my idea about this program, while we drink the gallon, is to reset it all. Because when you're doing this diet, or like how I'm doing it too, I'm also the same. I have a 13-hour fast every day.
Yeah.
And I don't, the only time I'll eat is at 4 o'clock when I have to take my medicine, and it'll be small though. It's like a handful of nuts, or
Yeah, but if you eat it all in that fast, then it screws it up.
well, that's when I end it.
Insulin.
I end it on the 14.
Yeah.
So like, because but I try to be awake as much as I can for that fast. Like, so that way I'm getting that glucagon, but I have to break it when I take my other medicine at night because I have to eat something with it.
Yeah. Well, I think that you breaking it makes it not work because your body's just going to send insulin out. So you do have to do the full fast, or else it's pointless.
Right, that's what I mean. So like my fast ends at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Because I wake up at 3.
I can't do that. I've got the only way this is going to work is the way I'm doing it.
I mean, no, that's cool the way you're doing it. But then I eat my meal, like I eat my dinner, and I make sure I stay awake for a couple hours after that too.
Yeah, and I try to do that. That's why I try to eat at 6 because I don't go to bed till 10.
Right.
So I try to eat at 6 with the kids, and then we go to bed at 10, basically. So it's like, and then I'm up at 3 in the morning.
Right.
And I know that's not healthy either, because I basically I only sleep 5 hours a day or 6 hours a day, depending. I've been doing that for years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, isn't that normal?
No, they say you're supposed to sleep 8 hours. What happened to 8 hours? Do they not? Isn't it supposed to be 8 hours?
Some people are supposed to sleep for 8 hours. I can't.
I don't know.
My brain's too messed up.
I definitely can, but I don't. Sometimes I take a nap here or there. But since I've started this, dude, I haven't felt the need to nap.
Right.
I don't think I've hardly taken any nap. Like sometimes I'll fall asleep involuntarily because I'm so tired.
You're tired, yeah.
But it's not like I'm so busy that I'm just like, now I have to do this. Now I have to do that. Now I have to do that. I don't have time to be like, now I'm going to go take a nap.
Right. I'll take naps to reset my brain because sometimes my brain gets a little bit too worked up.
Yeah. Is that how it works over there?
I got to take a nap, man. I'm getting too cracky.
Cracky, even crack face. You're going to go sleep it off.
I've been freebasing all day.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. It seems like it's winding down. You want to call it over or what?
That's good, yeah.
We've been going for
hour and 12 minutes.
Yeah. Yep. Maybe one of these days I'll get a whole deal going with this thing, and we'll just, we'll pull up articles and
that's where we're going. I mentioned while you were gone, I mentioned anyone that is watching to comment something that they would like to discuss.
Yeah.
Or comment.
Well, the one dude did. He wanted us to talk about what's in beer.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think it's hops and water and yeast.
No, I think we need to look at it different because I really think we need to get to the core of beer. I think we need to look at ancient Egyptian beers.
The problem is that, I mean, maybe the ancient Egyptian beers we could, but there's no ingredients list on beers. Did you know that? There's no nutritional facts.
Right. No, I mean, I agree with you, but
so
I feel like we could dig in a little bit and we could find
some. Could look up what is hops. I mean, I guess we could look up hops.
Right, but Egyptian beer that the Egyptians were drinking.
Yeah, but they were ruled by aliens. You don't know. We just proved it in this episode. You heard 13% of people use iPhones, and you're like 13%. That doesn't sound right because it isn't right. It's probably more than 58%. Even though that's what it said.
Right.
People line up for these things.
They
when
do.
When the new one comes out, there's a line around the block.
But I also know how many people in America are poor as crap and they ain't buying no iPhone because they break it, they get it stole.
That's what it is. It's the riches and the poors.
Right. Riches and the poors.
Yeah.
But anyways, aliens or not, I did read this thing about beer that the Egyptians were drinking had probiotics in it. It had stuff to help with anti-swelling business.
Yeah.
And it actually the microbes in it filtered the water that they were drinking, their nasty ass water.
Yeah. Well, yeah, what I heard is that they only drink beer.
Yeah.
Because it was actually more like a way to purify the water.
Yep, exactly.
Or it was a way to purify it.
so you wouldn't get
So-
sick. Well, and then even like the the wine that Jesus drank was like not the same kind of wine we'd be drinking.
Well, that's what they say. But it's like, how do you know?
Because
how do they know?
the alchemists kept records. The alchemists, if you could find old books of alchemy, they're the ones that have the records on how to mix up wine and that beer and stuff like that. The alchemists, they were the ones who were, like when you read the Bible, Moses went and found the alchemist and got some wine, you know?
Yeah. Let's see. Egyptian beer.
Because the alchemists, those homies were the ones walking around, plague doctor status.
What do you mean?
Like the alchemists, they were like, they had an understanding about the elements and how all that, and they would sell you stuff you needed or formulated things.
Yeah.
Like they could turn your pee into white phosphorus. You know? Which I kind of thought one of those van lifers was doing because he like keeps gallons and gallons of it in his bus. And I'm like,
Of his
man,
pee?
yeah, you're making white phosphorus,
He's just
aren't
a
you?
weirdo. He's probably just a...
You're
He's probably just got some issues.
you're selling phosphorus to all the meth heads out there.
So beer was a vital... I don't know where this is from. This is the generative AI. The AI on Google says beer was a vital part of ancient Egyptian life, consumed daily and in large quantities at celebrations. It was a primary source of nutrition and hydration, and was even used as currency. So how was beer consumed? Beer was a staple food for the working class, especially those who built the pyramids. Beer was consumed daily, and workers were given rations as payment. Beer was consumed at religious festivals. Let's see. Beer was prescribed in medical texts. Beer was made from barley or wheat, malt, and crumbled bread. The mixture was partially baked to prevent the yeast from being killed by the oven's heat. The mixture was then filtered through I don't know what that is, a sieve? A sieve. Oh, that's how you spell sieve? Sorry. It was then filtered through a sieve to produce beer. I didn't know why do they spell it like that? It's S-I-V-E. No, S-I-E-V-E.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you say sieve.
How do you say that? Yeah, that's not right. Someone jacked up.
I mean, I know what a sieve is. I don't think I've ever tried to spell it.
Right.
What did beer taste like? Beer was cloudy and had plenty of solids, similar to gruel. So it was like the big old like chunky mess. It sounds like
it ain't no Michelob, see? So yeah.
Some say it was aromatic and balanced and tasted a lot like wine. Beer was associated with several gods and goddesses. Yeah, I don't know, man. Sounds like it was like a meal.
Yeah,
you
so
know?
that's what I'm saying. Like, we should definitely look up, like, that would be a good thing to look up, like, how it came. Like, we have that recipe. And the Germans used to do that, too. They used to mix up beer at your local church, and you'd have your big, huge beer thing at the bottom of the church. And every time you'd go to church, you'd go drink your beer, you know? And it was somewhat similar to that.
Yeah, well, it says it was used in religious deals.
So I really feel like
Should we-
there's a bit more to
Sorry.
it.
Should we try to? We might be able to.
Hey, look, there we go.
This is the British Museum. It says here, a sip of history, ancient Egyptian beer. So this is looks like it's a blog. As part of the Pleasant Vices series, food historian Tasha Marks invited brewers. Oh, it looks like they're trying to recreate the old beer.
Right.
I thought this was going to be an article about the beer. So beer was a result of the agricultural revolution, as the fermentation was accidental byproduct of the gathering of wild grain. So they accidentally made it. So that as fermentation was an accidental byproduct of the gathering of wild grain. It's said that beer was not invented but discovered.
Right.
Yet the manufacturing of beer was an active choice, and the ancient Egyptians produced and consumed it in huge volumes. You don't think they were just drunks?
No, I really don't, because it sounded like they were just like trying to get their meal on.
Yeah.
Like, man,
I'm
we hungry.
just trying to eat, man.
I'm trying to get a drink.
Like, can I just eat, please?
I don't want the crocodile to come bite me.
Yeah.
But like that, 'cause that also too. Like when you look at how they made breads during those eras too, way different than what we'd be doing now.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, but now it's like we go buy our flour in a bag and it's like bleached.
Right.
It's like, why the hell? I mean, you just take out all the nutritional value to it.
Right.
Or supposedly. That's what I keep hearing. So how's the beer different from what we drink today, it says? The culture. What do you think that is? What do you think is going on here?
that's how you drink it right there, that
you
girl.
Drink it out of that?
You get
is that
16
a beer
of
bottle?
your buddies. Yeah.
In ancient Egypt, beer was so essential it was treated primarily as a type of food. It was consumed daily. Oh, this is what the AI read.
Right.
Beer was an essential for laborers, like those who built the pyramids of Giza, who were provided with a daily ration of 1 1/3 gallons, over 10 pints. Yet it still had divine status, with several gods and goddesses associated with beer. Hathor, the goddess of love, dance, and beauty, was also known as the Lady of Drunkenness.
Yeah.
Now beer is still very popular, but I wouldn't say it has divine status, and a liquid lunch is now a little frowned upon, especially if you're operating heavy machinery.
Right. See, back then, they got pushing 10 million pound bricks of whatever they're made out of, obsidian.
Yeah.
Drunk out of their minds.
Just drunk and pushing them.
Raw.
This is a Hathor, Hathor. That's what that is a picture of, or a figure of.
Right.
So the method. Then in the museum's Egyptian galleries, you can see models excavated from tombs which show wooden figurines of brewers straining mash through a cloth into ceramic vessels. I saw on one of those Ancient Alien shows, I think that they thought they had batteries.
Right.
Turns out they were just making beer.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah, that's what they're doing.
That's what they're showing.
They ain't no Baghdad battery. It's
They're
a
like,
Baghdad
we're just
beer.
drunk, man. Just mixing up the mash.
Yeah, right.
Or whatever.
Right.
I don't know.
We're making Jack Daniels today.
Sometimes I wish I wasn't sober because I would like to make beer. That seems like it'd be a fun hobby. I guess I could. I don't know. I could not be sober.
I don't know about that.
Look at that thing. I'm not going to read all this. Oh, look, they had straws.
All right.
The beer was unlikely to have been decanted from many of these large ceramic vessels, so a drinking straw was a must. So basically, because it was just like full of stuff, and
they
used
couldn't
a
pour it
straw.
out. Yeah.
Many academics believe the straw was to prevent sediment being consumed by the drinker.
So that way you drink the top layer,
So
let
like,
all this stuff hanging down below. Well, and some of the things too I also heard was the beers were like how people keep their active. You know how you feed your Monster in your fridge?
No.
Your sourdough.
Yeah, the starter.
Yeah, you feed it.
Yeah.
There was like a beer starter for that too. Like they would keep it going. And they hand out their beers at night. I saw that on Nova.
Oh, really? So like they had a beer starter? Sorry, I had to turn down.
Yeah, they had like a beer starter. So like you would, at your house, you'd have like your main jug of beer and you would draw out of it and refill it with nasty water.
Yeah, because you would have to have your stuff, right? Your yeast. And so they didn't like just go get a packet of yeast from the store.
Yeah. Let's go down to Kroger, guys.
They would have had to have a starter with the yeast, right?
Yep, yeah. Or keep it going so you don't run out of yeast.
Yeah.
Or you have to go find the alchemist. Hey, alchemist, I'll give you 5 pig's ears for this.
Get some more yeast going. Well, there you go.
There we go.
All right, that's what beer's made out of, apathetic kid.
There you go, brother.
All Thanks for watching. If you watched or whatever,
Thank
comment,
you.
subscribe, and all that good stuff. And we'll see you tomorrow. I guess.
We'll be there.
Bye.